Yesterday, Comic-Con 2006 ended, and we're just beginning to digest really what went on there. From the Transformers announcement, to NBC's Heroes, to all the excitement surrounding Spider-Man Trace, and of course, Snakes on a Plane. Comic-Con had it all, but what walked away with the biggest buzz? We have the experts and the opinions. Time to break out the costumes, kids. We're going, and we're talking about Comic-Con today in The Loop, presented by Yaris. Joining us via satellite to really help us make sense of all this Comic-Con jazz from the G4 Studios, resident film geek Chris Gore is here, also from Los Angeles. Staff writer for USA Today, Scott Bowles, is here. And dialing in all the way from New York tonight, Mel Kilo, editorial director of Wizard Entertainment. Gentlemen, welcome to The Loop. Comic-Con, I know everybody's a little exhausted. We had to put the costumes away. But let's get serious here. Chris Gore, what were you most excited to see and or hear about out of Comic-Con?
Well, I'll tell you what, if you can pull a muscle from geeking out, I have several pulled muscles. I'll tell you, Spider-Man 3, I'll just echo what Blair said. It's amazing. Getting a look at Venom for the first time had fans just going ape crap. And also, revealing that Topher Grace is Venom is something a lot of fans had suspected, but now we finally have confirmation. In fact, today, Sony just released a photo in the form of wallpaper on the Spider-Man 3 official website. You can get a look at Topher transforming into Venom. It's going to be awesome.
It's a very Linkin Park still. He's about to break. He's screaming. He's got the black goo on. Looks awesome.
Amazing
Chris,
stuff.
I think that the 300 footage was pretty good, too. That looked really, really awesome.
Can't forget about the 300 footage. A lot of people didn't get to see it, though. They haven't released it yet. Why are they holding this back from the nerds at large?
I don't know. And you got to also think about the Transformers announcement with Peter Cullen, the original voice. That was a really big announcement that was made on Saturday.
Sure. And now, Scott, for those of us who aren't wearing capes or who don't live surrounded by wood paneling, what were we excited to see? What was Comic-Con about for us?
Well, it's really about Snakes on a Plane. All of these other things are incremental. They've been there before. The comic books are fine, but Snakes on the Plane had the biggest buzz. They had 19 snakes there, an anaconda. This is the movie that people are talking about. It's fine to have your third installment of Spider-Man, but there's nothing there that they really haven't been seeing before for the past 3 or 4 years. Snakes on the Plane, Samuel Jackson. It's absolutely the film everyone is talking about.
Scott, no disrespect, but this is called San Diego Comic-Con, so the biggest announcement should have been comic book related.
Comic-Con.
You have All-Star Wonder Woman with Adam Hughes. You have Action Comics with Jeff Johns and Richard Donner.
Comic books haven't had anything to do with Comic-Con for the past 6 years. Really, this has become a place where the studios look for demographics. They're looking for young kids. This is about the movies. Nobody cares about comic books anymore. This is where you get your film off the ground. The studios could care less about the comic books. In fact, if anything, they're moving away from the comic books, and all they want is the 18 to 34-year-olds to pay attention to them. Comic-Con might as well be called StudioCon.
Well, Scott, you're definitely right. You're right about one thing. It's definitely turned into an orgy of pop culture. But Snakes on a Plane, we've been hearing it so often. Come on, enough already. Release the movie. Let's see what you got. It's all about the film. There's already a competing film coming out called Snakes on a Train that's coming direct to DVD. I don't know. I think it could run out of steam, seriously.
But now, Chris, does it bother you at all, being that, we have comic book fans, clearly it's getting away from that. We're going to the big budget movies, bigger hype for Comic-Con. Does it concern you at all that it seems to be less about the comics now?
Well, no, I actually like that because it does cross over. But it's interesting, they had a big premiere party for the film Accepted, when a lot of the comic book fans actually came out. They had this giant sign that said, "Welcome Shatheeds." It was really, and then there was this giant party there where they were serving free liquor. It's a comedy in the vein of Animal House. What does it have to do with comic books? It's definitely grown out of control.
And it's no longer about comic books. The Reaping is going to be a supernatural horror film. It has absolutely nothing to do with comic books anymore. When it began, it was 300 people in a basement. If you want a comic book convention, you need to go find another basement, because this is a place where if you want your TV show to get attention, if you want your studios, if the studios want to get their kids, this is where they're going to go.
For now, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us and chatting about the Comic-Con. We'll see if all this buzz holds up. And, of course, planning for next Comic-Con, it's already underway. Mark down July 26th through the 29th, 2007 on your calendars. Thanks to Chris, Mel, and Scott for keeping us all in the loop. It was a pleasure, gentlemen.